Oh, cool. I guess it's working. All right. We're live. Let's see. I just want to check that. How many arc windows do I have open? Let's find out. I think I just have the one. So I want to close that. You all no exit. Do not want to exit. My noise gate is a little tight, but the reason why is because there is not right now, but there is a background sound in my basement. So it goes, let's just see if it's streaming. And then I was just going to send it to one person. All right. Let's find out. Let's see. Channel. Okay, it looks like it's working, person. Yeah, and I know because I can hear myself and it sounds strange. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to send this stream. In fact, I don't know why I just closed out of that. All right, let's go here. Pardon. All right, so one of the things that, let me just go over the tech stack now. Sweet, what did I just do? Okay, this can probably be closed, and we just want one arc. Just one arc window. I think I need to adjust my, nah, fuck it. It's probably good for me to get the practice of always speaking into the microphone. I'm very used to being able to be back here, but as you can see, talk quietly back here, all cuts out. What I was saying was, as you could see, when I talk quietly back there, my sound cuts out. The reason for that is because in the way I have my audio routing right now is through this thing in Logic. It's just a simple audio track, and there's a thing in Logic called, sorry, I'm using my VS Code shortcuts, but I'm in Logic. There's a thing in audio called a noise gate, and I put it on because I get really loud background noise when I am coding because of the heater down here. It goes, it's really loud. So what I'm doing instead is I'm using this thing called, not instead, what I am doing is I am using a thing called a noise gate. And what that does is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's a gate. The more noise that hits that gate, the more likely that gate is to be open. When that gate is not open, no sound bleeds through. When that gate is open, all the sound bleeds through. Or actually, you can reduce it by a certain amount. But like, just to show you, if I take this and raise it all the way up, you're not going to hear me talk, even though I'm going to be talking at the same exact talk. Now, if I get really loud or really close in on the mic, you probably can hear me because it's loud enough to break the gate. That probably sounds like shit. Okay, so we're going to go back to where we were. And now you can hear, as I lower this, it's never going to cut out the sound. So here you see that sound is always on in the background. You could hear the little things. Now the thing isn't on right now, which is why it doesn't sound terrible. But typically you want something on a little bit. And just to show you how this, just while I'm here, just to show you how this little reducer works, if I'm here, right now it's cutting out, completely blocking out all sound when it's closed. With the reduction, I could make it like just lower the sound. So let's do it very slightly. Now you can kind of hear it a little. Yeah. But because that background noise is so loud, I'm just doing a complete wipe. And yeah, this should be good. I know one of the things that I need to practice on, as stupid as it sounds, is I really got to practice just beating up on this mic because it makes your stream sound better. So, and then also not like speaking into it so I don't get the plosives or shit like that. Anyways, let's go ahead. I don't know what I'm doing as a streamer. It is a new field for me. Let's go ahead and talk about the tech stack. So right now, I'm applying to a company. I won't say which one, although You could probably guess it by the video. I just don't know that it's appropriate to do it that way. And looking at the basically what they do is they're a vet company. Well, they're a veterinarian tech company that builds they build patient portals, but they do other stuff too, and they integrate with other services. And I'm sure the thing that I'm building is very simplistic compared to what they have, but I just wanted to build a little prototype to show them, hey, I'm dedicated, and yeah, let's go ahead and look at it, what I've got so far. I've already built a good chunk of it, and I've built it in TanStack, and I've used ShadCN, so of course a lot of this goodness is just ShadCN being awesome. Oh, I need a log out button, actually. Let's go ahead and make some tasks for ourselves. But before I do that, overview. Yeah, so what's going on here, it's a ShadCN app. I actually got to log out and show you the flow from the beginning. So you log in, I'm John at john.com, and I'll put in my password. And I don't think I have a John at john.com, so let's make one. John at john.com, password. This was basically what I spent a few hours on yesterday, was doing some auth stuff, nothing crazy. Oh, so I already have one. I guess I do have one. I don't know what the password is. Dang it. Let me just sign in with one of the main ones. Seed file, always have a seed file. We're just going to do that one. So now doctor@doomstingscience.com. If you can't figure out what the company is by this, you're not doing your research. All right. Anyways, password 123, boom, we're in, and there we go. So now we have a little patient portal. Now, of course, all I have right now is this failing add new customer, edit customer, that kind of stuff. I just don't have a good grasp on yet. But we want to make something good. Also, if you'll notice in this little shitty thumbnail that I have up here somewhere, it's this thing that I messaged to myself. There you go. Or I messaged that to a student. That little shitty thumbnail, you can see there's some Elixir in there. This company does Elixir, so I figured what a cool idea would be to do. I realized that I am not competent enough at Elixir to make an impressive product in a week that actually looks good and feels good. So what I figured I would do alternatively is I would make a product that is mostly TanStack Start, but then I'd add a chat feature. And the reason why I think that that's actually pretty valuable here is because I think there's probably something to say about Elixir being there. I know for a fact Elixir, Beam, Erlang, let me explain what's going on there. There is a family of languages called Beam languages because they run on the Beam virtual machine, much like Java languages run on the Java virtual machine. So, for example, Java is obviously a Java language, or JVM language, Java virtual machine. But there's also Clojure, there's also Scala, there's also Kotlin, there's also, I think Groovy is another one, but there's a ton of these languages that run on the JVM, and likewise, there is a specific virtual machine called the Beam, and there are a bunch of languages that run on that. Right now, the two biggest ones for a very long time, well, for like the past 10, I don't know when Elixir was made, but I think it's like maybe 10 years ago or something like that. So for the past 10 years, it was Elixir and Erlang. Before that, it was just Erlang. Erlang was the first one. And now there's a language called Gleam as well, which I'm super interested in, but there's no jobs for, so there's really no point in learning it. And plus, it makes sense to learn a language that's got a little bit more balls to their tech stack in the sense that they've been around for a little while. So because there's a ton of packages out, makes it probably a little bit more reliable to use. For example, I was looking at Gleam, and there's no good like ORM kind of thing for it. You're just writing raw SQL, which I can imagine running into some cases where you just don't want to write raw SQL. I especially like right now I've been working on an app, and I cannot imagine writing raw SQL for some of the queries that I'm doing. It would be insane. They would be like 2 pages long, or yeah. But anyways, right now, the goal is to just keep working on the TanStack part of this for a while, and then if we get to the Elixir part, we'll get to the Elixir part. But before we do any of that, I'm going to go use the restroom. We're back. Okay, so let's introduce to the current problem that we're on. First of all, maybe let's explain a little bit about what TanStack is. TanStack, because that's the big juicy part that we're working with. Also, I'm working with Prisma. Also, I'm working with ShadCN. Also, Tailwind. But I think that the big fun one for me is Prisma. Is TanStack. I've been super impressed with it as a framework, and it really allows you the primitives to dump in all the other goodies. Now, it's technically in beta mode, and I think that we're going to kind of see that with some of the annoying parts of what I'm working on here. But once you get around the rough edges, you could see that there's a lot of power there, and what I've found is that the nature of that power makes a lot of sense. Whereas in Next.js, there's a lot of power too, but that power is like, it feels like this weird opinion that they give you that you're supposed to sort of think of your app in terms of server components holding client components. Whereas when you use TanStack Router, hopefully you'll see this, it mostly feels like client-side React, which is something that I love. I've run into so many stupid issues with I've been working on a remix app for 2 years, and I've run into little issues like if I want to go use a toaster library and the things don't load up correctly on the front end because it starts up on the back end, it just doesn't work, and then you have to find like 5 different solutions. And to be honest, I don't know how it is in Next.js world, but in remix world, the upgrade paths that I've had to deal with haven't been smooth, and there's been trade-offs to all of them. For example, I remember I made the big upgrade to Vite, which is basically like Remix went from being its own package to at some point being a Vite plugin. And I remember making that upgrade and it taking me like a week of scratching my head, and I was very miserable during that time. I remember seeing like a bunch of different ways of doing a bunch of different stuff. I drank the Kool-Aid pretty heavily on how to do forms the HTML-like way. And the further my app got, let me show you the app that I built there just so you get an idea. But the further that I got there, let me go to logging in on a different page. Oh, I'm already logged in. So basically this app is something that I've been working on for like 2 years. Something I wish I kind of did a little bit more of this stuff in Tailwind, actually, believe it or not. Everything is vanilla CSS right now, except for the menu rendering part, which is styled components, which everyone hates. But actually, styled components is one of the better decisions I made on this app, believe it or not. Yeah, so it's a little menu builder app. But the point is, I've been working on something for 2 years in it. It's not like this is not like a weekend project for me. And I've been pretty hyped on TanStack because of this whole vibe of it's client side for the most part. Like it feels a lot more client side to use. There is rough edges around it though, because it's in beta still. There's some things that are not exactly pleasant to work on. We're going to discover one of those right now. Anyways, I made a little list for myself. So let's go ahead and pull that up. If I just go to GitHub, I should have a little projects thing. Well, it's okay. And this is my project. Obviously, I should have a README. Don't judge too hard. Okay. What? Oh, I don't understand this. iteration, current iteration. I don't understand exactly how that works. Roadmap. This is interesting. I think I downloaded some template and it's just confusing me because it automatically goes to the current iteration. I think I'm just going to make a Kanban for all. Oh, wait, I don't want a table. I guess I see how this is valuable. This is actually really cool. Wait, so wait a second. I think what this is, I've used GitHub projects for a while, but they've added new stuff to it. So I just don't know. I'm assuming if I just go to a new board, it's going to be everything. But I guess when you go to current iteration, and I refresh this, it's only supposed to be the, like if I go at, what did I have in there? Let me try going re-navigating to it because I know I cleared that before, but I wasn't paying attention because I was like half awake last night when I was coding. Projects, Doomsday Science. Oh yeah. Oh, this is cool because I could put my own little backlog in for the day. And then I guess you could probably change this. I wonder how I get that to actually work. View 8. I'm just going to call this full Kanban. Or maybe I could find a way to do it in the... I wonder if there's a way to do it in the roadmap. Oh, look at that. Improve user page layout. Nice. Nice. And then I think, does that show up in the current? That's actually kind of cool. You just add little couple things in for the day, show out your combo for the day. Dang. I will say GitHub Projects is fantastic. And one of the things that nothing will ever have on GitHub Projects is that it's in GitHub, which is fantastic. So anyways, going with that, this is the one I'm working on right now. A doctor should be able to register a customer. As you could see on my page, there's a little bug. I think I remember how to fix this bug. I ran into this when I haven't finished this process, but I'm converting Remenu over to TanStack just because I enjoy working in it a lot more. And fuck it, I can. It's my own project. I can do what I want. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Cool. Let's make one of the things I wanted to do is make a helper. I'm going to call it like, actually, I think they provide one now. I built this when I was doing the remenu conversion, and then I saw that they have it somewhere, like validate Zod. Zod validate. Zod resolver. I'm just going to make my own. It's so easy to make. So basically, let's just do new file, and we'll do validate with Zod. And the big idea here is that the generic that you take in is Zod's schema type. Yeah. Or we'll call it input type extends Zod or input schema. Schema. And then this thing returns a function that takes in a nice little curried function for you, an input that is that inferred type, and then we're going to return schema.parse input. And basically what this allows me to do is, now let's say I make a function. The way that it works is that the validator function here, it literally just validates the shape of something. So for example, if I start with full shape, and then I just look at that type signature, the type signature of this is any. And now that I have this validator, because I'm not returning anything, well, it doesn't actually validate anything about the shape that's there. That means that in my handler, when I go to pull out the data from here, which I think I can get right from data there, the type of this is going to be void because I'm returning void from this function. Alternatively, what I could do now is I could call, let's do this. what I'm first going to do is, let's say that this thing is a z dot object, and we're just going to return, we're going to say that it takes a search term, and that search term is a z dot string. And if I look at this, now, you'll see data is that shape. Search. Oh, wait, no, because I didn't parse it. Okay, so now if I look at the data type here, it should be, it validates it to the right input. But now it's like all pissed, and I don't know exactly why. But I know that like functionally it makes it a little weird, because when you go to call it, there's no type safety on this. And it kind of makes sense, because the way that Zod works is it parses the output. So I could say, it makes perfect sense to say, hey, this thing returns the correct type, but you don't know what that type input is. If you use this, now using type generics, what you're saying is, I'm going to make a function that creates another function that parses it, but it also typecasts it at the same time, in the sense that if my input schema, let's say my input schema is a name with a string, and I dump that into here, well, now it makes a function that takes in the correct value, which is just nice. So it does a little bit of typecasting there, but I think it's the right move. Validate with Zod, and now I should be able to say, hey, this thing is an object. The object is going to have a search. That search is going to be a string. That's optional. And the object itself has to be optional, because we don't necessarily have query params here. We'll talk about what these query params are for in a bit. I don't know if this actually fixes the problem, but let's see. It looks like it did fix the problem. But the whole idea here is, I have this Prisma function, and this Prisma function, basically, if there's a search term, it searches with it. And if there's no search term, it doesn't search with it. So now I can pull out this search term, which you could see I didn't pull out. And the reason why I didn't pull it out, doesn't like it. Oh, you can't destructure it because it's optional. Huh, wait a second. Am I not getting the right type signature there? Validate with Zod. Maybe it wants the middleware. Maybe the middleware throws it off is what I'm thinking. No. A little shocked. I don't think this is necessary, but it's weird is now that it broke it. But my data is, that's better. Okay, so for whatever reason that appears like it worked. But now I'm getting a weird problem, which is weird because that's all TypeScript. Failed. That's so strange. I would definitely say that this is one of those cases where something feels a little off about the framework. But that's okay, because they're still in beta. Yeah, because look, data exists. And then if I call data.search, it explodes everything. Oh, no, it doesn't. Maybe I just was missing a question mark on there. Cool. So the cool part about this is now I basically just got to get this search in here. I probably should put a label on that search. I am totally fine with using AI here. So we're just going to say, add a label to this search. Also, please add a Lucide icon for this. Accept. Lucide React. And that looks pretty good. Now we're going to have to debounce it. So What I want to do is this input should really set the search params, but it needs to do so in a debounced way. The reason why is you just don't want to set it every second. You want to set it every so often. So let's go ahead and get one. Probably just rip it. No, this will be perfect, I think. Well, the problem is that it's not just state. Actually, this is where I don't know TanStack. This is why I'm excited. Use search. From this route. What's the best way to set search? I don't know. I know you can use a link tag. Well, not a link, but you can basically navigate and then change the search params. It's one of the really cool parts about TanStack Router. Before I continue, though, I am drinking quite a bit of coffee, so this will probably happen another couple of times. So, thinking about it, definitely what I need is not a debounced state. Although I could cheat, use a debounced state, and slap a use effect on it. But what I'd really like is just something that... No, I guess that is what I need. Well, what I need is a hook. That would be great, is like a use debounced effect that does something like this. This would be ideal. And then on here, I track search params. And then on here, I would like set it. And I would need like a... I feel like what it would be great would be as if I had a handler. Ah! I forgot how to Vim, apparently. Something like this would be awesome. Handler. And then... maybe like... like a debounce rate. But before I fuck with that, I'm curious what I have already. Remita.js debounce. How does that work? Because Remita was made... Well, I know that it's probably similar. I haven't done much debounces, so this is new for me. But I know what it is. I know I can get it to work. And the faster I get it to work, the happier I am. Debounce, identity, timing, trailing, wait. Debounce is delays the invocation of the function during the defined cooldown period. It can be configured to invoke the function either at the start of the cooldown period or the end of it, or at both ends. So this might actually be even easier. Because basically what I would do is... This is easy enough. I could probably just make a hook for this. Well, let's get it working first and then we'll make a hook. So what I'm going to try doing is we're going to go use effect. We're going to watch search params. We're going to pull in that debounce method. And basically what you're doing is you're dumping in the function and then you're dumping in the options. So the function that we're going to have is we're going to do set search. And this is basically going to use and right now what this is going to do is we're going to say navigate to from our this is what's so cool about TanStack, and it's really mind-blowing. We are going to set the search params to true. Oh, because search is like search params. I should really change the name of this, but we could do that in a second. And the cool thing is everything's type safe, so it shouldn't be that hard. But the goal is basically now on here, I'll do a debounce. We'll add the set in here. We're going to get the, we also need to track, it's not just the search params, it's also the state for that input. So we're going to need a search term. That's what I'm going to change search to. Use state, boom, and let's hook up that state. Now, actually, I don't know that we need to track that. We do need our search term. Technically, we're just going to do that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say debounce set search. Oh, whoops. Yeah. We're going to have to modify this a little bit. Set search to the search term. And then on here, it takes options. Wait, and we're just going to say 1,000. And let's see what it does. So if I did this right, well, one thing it's not doing is setting that. Also, I've noticed it's not, I'm sorry. One thing it definitely is doing is setting the term. We could see that. What it's not doing is recalling the loader. So I think technically we probably need a router invalidate here too. So in here, we're going to also have, well, before we get that router invalidate in, I want to make sure that it's actually, that's instantly changing. We don't want that because if we do call router invalidate, it's going to go really slow. I mean, let's just show it. Let's make something stupid. Because the thing to keep in mind here is that now if I type in Bob or something like that, it should be calling that. Let's just alert. Is this actually hitting? Doesn't appear to. Strange. So the debounce isn't hitting. Is this hitting? definitely not. Use effect, we're watching this search term. We're never setting the search term. Derp. That's setting search. Set search term is what I want. Ugh. I was like, what the heck is going on here? That makes sense. And now this should work better. I'm going to turn off that alert. So hopefully, if I do this right now it's going to invalidate the router, and it might actually just work. Let me refresh the page. Nope. Guess I never saved it without that alert in there. Oh, there we go. Set search to the search term. And now hopefully that does not appear to be working. Let's see. It's never calling it. Let's do it the shitty way without the debounce for a second. Just to see if at least the function is working. Let's see. Interesting. It's not triggering the loader. Because I'm never dumping that search term in. And now, okay, we're making some progress. So now it's probably just the function isn't working. Email and name. So let's go name. Where's the name coming from? Well, this is the username is probably why. It's one of the things that's confusing about my data model that now I should probably fix. The user has a name, but they also have... Look, I ripped this from remenu. That's what I noticed. The user has a name, but they also have customer data. So I need to get rid of that. I need to run a little migration. But also on top of this, I need to make sure that... We'll worry about this debounce in a second. I also need to make sure that I am getting the customer data, and now that I'm searching by the customer data. So this is for the email, but also I should be able to go to where the and really this should be or. That's what's also messing this up. The customer data first name contains search term. Why is that not formatting? Okay, that's better. Or the customer data last name. This should start getting us on the right track. Let's see. So let's get Alice Johnson. Great. Cool. This actually feels really fast, but it's because it's local. I do want to make sure that this is debounced. So now let's try getting that debounce in. It's local and it's also not a lot of data too. So now I'm going to go here. It's never setting it. Do I need to call this like that? What is, if I were to look at the type signature of A, is this a function? It is a function. Aha. I get it. Wait. Has no call signatures. Let me look closer at the Remita documentation. .call. You literally are just calling .call. Okay. dot call. Oh. Maybe you just do a dot call. Interesting. Let's try that out. Yep, that's what we want. The only thing is I noticed it doesn't do it all in one blob. And I'm wondering if the reason why is I have to abstract this. So if this is set search, maybe what I need is a set search debounce. Set this equal to use callback. Dump this here. And we're going to do this only when it loads. Well, no, we have to track. This is a little interesting. No, I think this will work. And then on here, debounce dot call, and I think router dot invalidate needs to be in here. And we could probably build some hooks around this, which I'm excited about. But this needs to also have that debounce built into it. Debounce. Wrap that around this callback function. Add that second argument. And I think that that's the right idea. Debounce. This could go in here. But then the problem is, oh, you know what? I might need a ref. This is a little weird. Let's see. Because the problem with this is going to redefine every time search term redefines. So that's going to be no bueno. It's just not going to work. But let's think about this update stuff. Well, we're getting this we don't need. Now I think what I need to do is do a use ref. Because we need to kind of escape the React lifecycle, I believe. And we need to take in the new val. Let's see if that works. Yep. Boop. And now it just sets it. Good. Let's make a better implementation of this. Also, I want to change this down to like 400 milliseconds. I feel like would be good. Like, boop, boop. That works pretty good. I'm happy with that. Actually, I've never done a debounce before. I don't think I've had a good reason to, but I just like, it's weird. The app that I've been working on for 2 years, it's been so complex in some ways, and I've had to solve so many challenges. But in other ways, there's just like all these like regular classic React challenges that I just haven't done. But it's nice to know that I can actually tackle these pretty comfortably. Anyways, let's go ahead and make a nice hook for this. And actually, I kind of want to make it specific to search params, because that is the thing that I'm going to be doing over and over again if I had to guess on this app, is that. But let's just go ahead and we're going to say use on debounced, and let's just start abstracting some of this stuff. So the idea is this stuff is all going to be in there. So, and I think that this is not. But we'll go one step at a time and we'll make it better and better. So first I need this, set search debounce. Oh, I don't want to take all this out of there. We're going to leave this here for now. But the idea is we're going to need to be able to provide a callback. We're going to say that the time is going to be a number. The watch is going to be an array. We'll just say in any array. The unknown will be better. We'll be good boys. Navigate. We're going to say on the handler is what I'll call it. And this can basically be any function, but it needs to have the same watch values. So the way that I would want to use this, let's just check this. Use debounced, use on debounced. And what I would do is I would pass in a handler that says, hey, every 300 milliseconds, not every 300 milliseconds, we're going to watch search term. What are we watching here? Yeah, the search term. Watch the search term. And we are going to do something with that. I like that. Use on debounced state. On debounced state. And we're going to call this thing watch state. Watch state search term. And then basically how does the use debounce? Because the problem with the use debounce is it's just a state. But the cool thing about this is it allows you to manage a side effect. And now what I'm going to do is, let's destructure this stuff. Handler, watch state, time, boom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use ref. We're going to get this and we're going to dump in the handler, which I'm a little afraid that this won't work because of use callback. But we'll see. Or because if it redefines itself, it's going to be problematic. So you just might need to use callback on the outside of this, which I don't love. But we'll probably do the trick. So now in here, you just get the handler. In here, you get the, oops. Let's just get the time. And the watch state is going to go here. And I guess what you could do. Oh, interesting. The type signature of this is actually going to be the what. What you would need to do is technically go in here. The handler would be the type of this thing. This actually, this needs to be a generic. The reason why is because basically what you would need to do, I'm going to fuck up this type, but the idea is in here, what you would need to do is so for now we're going to cheat. We're just going to do this on one. So we're going to say watch state is just going to be a thing. So that's going to make my life easier. Unknown. We're going to not make this, well, it'll still be generic, but it'll be much easier generic. Watching. Watch state is of type watching. And theoretically, you could actually make this work even if the thing that you're watching is an array. It just won't be the best DX, but that's fine. And this should work pretty good. Let's check it. So now we're going to comment out all this code. Oh, wait, no, I want to watch the search term. Now I take in this search term. And if my type signature is right, this should be a string. And we're going to say, I don't actually need this search params, I don't think. And I think that'll work. Let's see. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Nice. Nice. Sweet. That works great. Actually, I'm super happy with the way this turned out. I do need to... Wait a second. Something's not right because I'm never calling router invalidate. Did I not need that router invalidate? I guess I never needed it. What do you know? I guess the navigate triggers it. It makes sense that a navigate would trigger. I don't know what I was doing differently before. I'm sure I'll like watch back on it and be like, derp. Okay, cool. So I would say that this feature is pretty much done. Well, no, it's not done because I cannot add a customer yet, but I want to say that this debounce worked nicely. So git add, git commit, debounce. Push it. I want to check my email real quick because, again, I am looking for a job right now. Oh, whoops. What did I do? Okay. Nothing. All right, so that worked pretty good. Very happy with that. Of course, my server needs to be running in order to work, so we'll get that doing. And now the next thing that I have to do is be able to add someone. So the goal is, and then there should be like a My Patients tab there too, or customer. This is not add. Okay, so with this, patients are animals because it's a vet, and customers are the owners of those animals. Just to be clear of the domain here. Okay, so now what I'm going to have to do is I am going to have to click a couple, and then a button should pop up that says add. And since we're shameless here, we're just going to go ahead and plop in a button. And this button is going to say add customers. And we're going to need a state for those selected customers, except for this is going to probably have to go outside of there. And this is going to be definitely bigger than 10. I don't use Tailwind all the time, but man, I kind of wish I did because my system got pretty chaotic on remenu and I'm not a fan of it, of the raw CSS. Okay, this is good. We'll have a disabled for when nothing is checked, and we need to track the state of what's checked. So state checking is it's a little annoying to have check state, but let's see. So what I'll need is like an array state. I'll be back. I gotta, this coffee, man. It's just getting me. As he keeps chugging. So I think the easiest way to do this would be using a map. So I'm just going to do that. We're just going to say const customer map set customer map equals use state. Boop. We're going to do, this should be a map with a string that points to, it really doesn't matter what it points to as long as the string exists. Actually, wouldn't set be good for this? Set string. I think this works. I don't know. I never use sets, but this is probably a good use case for one. Because now what I think I could do is I'll just say on change. Let's just first, just so I get an idea, let's just go ahead and alert this customer.id. And actually I want to do json.stringify. We're going to get the customer dot dot. I should have an ID here. Oh. There we go. And then I should also have, something is wrong there. Customer.patient ID, that's not right. I'm going to have to fix that. Oh, that sucks. I don't know why that's there. Oh, well. And then I also want to get like checked e.target.value. Is that right? Or is it like checked? I just want to just double check. Make sure I understand the checkbox UI. Okay, so that's setting check to true, and it gives me the customer. That says check to false, and I get the customer. So this should be pretty easy, because now all I should have to do is basically say checked don't like the name customer. Oh, customer map. We'll call customer set. And then on here, dot add customer.id, else dot delete. And now what I could do is make a little, technically it should be an on submit, but yeah, let's do that. I think I could just wrap this thing in basically a form. See if that fucked with the styles much. Alas, it did not. We're going to take this form. We're going to give it an on submit. Don't need this action. Keep it nice and simple for now. Let's just do a, I don't want to deal with the type signatures. Cool. React.form event. Okay, go to my form. In here, I just want to console log. Oh, look at that. It's console logging it. Beautiful. All right, so let's see. If I go to my this, and then I just want to log, see if I got that. I should have 2 IDs in there. Remove this. I get 1 ID. 4 IDs. Beautiful. Easy. Then all we have to do is send that to the back end. So now I'm going to make a, ooh, I also realized that when I find these customers, I really should find them where their healthcare provided by is not the user ID. So that way they don't show up in the list if they're already added. So for me, it also kind of makes sense if this was just one customer's page, and then you could just do all the things with a customer. Right? Would that make sense? No, because that'd be more of an admin feature. Yeah, we're going to do it this way. Healthcare provided by some ID is going to be the doctor ID, which we're going to get from the user. Context about the user. So then on here, the ID is going to be user.id and ID dot, well, it should be none. None. Oh yeah, beautiful. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then I need to also do this in the other where clause too. So that way, and look at this. We're ruling out some of them now. In other words, I don't have this patient. So now if I want to add this patient, I need to add the customer and then they'll go away from here. So then I should have like a My Patients tab too. In fact, let's go ahead and dump that on the Kanban. But let's go here and we should have a My Patients, patient, or My Customers page. Cool. So now this is looking pretty good. Wait, what's weird is I never set the customer set. I don't like that. Because technically it works, but this is bad practice. So I need to go to the set This is better for React. Oh, interesting. Does this not work? So maybe what I have to do is this. Boop, boop. I don't love this, but should be fine. Like, technically, I should do a structured clone or something like that, but I'm not too worried about it. I think this will be good. It also just proved to work out pretty well. And this is for adding a customer, so this is good. I don't love that this says credit card ending in. But anyways, there's tons of stuff to work out. A lot of this was like AI generated data, so it's not like perfect. I'll take the AI generated data though over like a ton of faker data, because the problem with faker data is you can't really edit it. And sometimes you just need to cover certain edge cases. Actually, one thing I think I will do with this, just to prove that it's nice, is like make 1,000 customers with faker, but then only a few of them really matter in like testing and stuff like that, I think is my, but like you want to test different things sometimes. Sometimes you want to test, hey, how does my app behave when I have 1,000 customers? And then sometimes you want to test, hey, how does my app behave with this particular customer that I know did this transaction? But yeah, now what I'm going to do is we've got this working. Let's go ahead and hook up this thing. So now we're going to make an add customer. Add customer. In here, and this is where just TanStack router is so nice. Or TanStack start. In here, we're going to create a server-side function. We are going to call this the handler. We're going to make the method post. We are going to validate the validate with Zod. So we need an array of strings. And we're going to get the middleware. So I might do this. Get user middle, acquire user middleware. You can have different middlewares, which is why that's an array. We're going to take this data. We're going to get the context. And we're going to return prisma.user.updateMany. And we're going to say where the ID is in data. We are going to supply it with data. And we're going to say the Stripe. I don't care about any of that. I need to get rid of that. Stripe. Fuck that. We're going to take the... Oh, man. Might not be able to knock it out with an update many. We may have to just use an update. We're just going to say, let's just check it real quick. ID is that. Obviously, that's not right. But I think now I can update the many-to-many relationship. And I could say provider or healthcare provided by, and we're going to hook up, connect That doctor. Provided by ID user dot ID. So I need that user. But then we're going to have to map over these. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a await Prisma dot transaction. And then this kind of is a promise dot all. So we're basically going to map over data dot map for each customer ID. We're going to return this array of Prisma calls. Get rid of this little guy. And then technically, I don't know if it's supposed to be an array. ID, customer ID. I think this will work. We'll find out. We could do this. I'm probably fine with this for now. Technically, we can make this error handling a little better, but we're trying to make some moves here. So now when I handle my submit, it should be really easy because basically all I need to do is say, basically when you're in React world, you have to call this use server functions. That way you're getting the right thing. What's really cool is this ultimately just winds up as an RPC call with like a URL, which is kind of crazy. And you just make a fetch call that's type safe. So it's actually really easy to use. I will need the router now because I need to invalidate it. So now when I submit this, we're going to go ahead and say we're going to add a customer. And this should really be called add customers. This should be called add customers. Add customers, selected customers. I think I need to plug in the data. That's just the way their interface works. And if this succeeds, we're going to go ahead and do a toast. In here, we're going to say that the title added, the variant will be a success. And if it fails, is there like an add customers dot loading? No. See, that would be really cool. If there was like an automatic integration of turning a server function into a use query, so that way I get stuff like loading state, that would be pretty nice. But now I have to manually hook up loading state, not a big deal. But just interesting for sure. This time we're going to say destructive. Oh, yeah. I realized I was editing the variant thing. Okay. So now let's try this. We're going to add John at john.com. Oop, add the customer, added, and it never invalidated. Try one more time. Add you. Boop. Good. This looks great. Sweet. So that adds the customers. And now these are customers that you don't have in here. This may not be the best system because it might just be that like a doctor does it, but I don't have that knowledge. I don't talk to doctors. I would like to. I can imagine there being something useful in between here. But yeah, so I would say that our add customer workflow is done. But before I go here, let's just go ahead. Before I go on this one, I really want to make sure that I get rid of, there's something wonky about this data model. In fact, I'll just make another card for that. But I do need to fix it. But, well, the truth is it doesn't matter. There's no deployments right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and push it up. Git push, pull request, and we're just going to go ahead and merge it. We're not going to care too much about this because, well, maybe I'll at least review my code. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Don't care about that. That's generated. Looks good. Okay. Let's go ahead and just merge this. I don't have any hooks set up right now. This is something that if I was working on a project for more than a week, I will absolutely have hooks set up, like webhooks for deployment and all that shit. But since this is literally, I'm on day 2, I'm not too stressed about it. So let's go ahead and merge. Create merge commit. Merge pull request. Uncommitted changes. Oh. Delete file. Glad I didn't commit that. Go back to my pull request. Let's go ahead and merge it. Boom. Good. Now, let's go ahead and check out a new branch where we fix that data model. So that's done. We're going to say fix the data model. Come up with a couple ideas about this. So one of the big things is I don't know why a customer has a patient ID, but they definitely should not. Also, I was tired and using AI when creating a bunch of dummy data, and we need to make sure we get rid of stupid things. Also things carried over from remenu. So I'm just going to, whoops. What I love doing is convert this. Check it out. So it's an issue. Create a branch. Boom. 3, fixed data model. It's weird. I went from 1 to 3. I don't know how that happened. Cool. Now I get to fix stuff. Obviously, this is a little fucked. I don't care that much. We're going to get to unfucking that at some point. The goal is to move pretty quick here. Let's fix this data model. Prisma. User, ID, email, role, created at, updated at, password reset token. Sure. Patient ID. No. Where does that, why is that there? Patient ID I shouldn't need. Is it still happy? I think so. A user has many patients. A user has many users. This relationship's a little weird, and this is definitely the type of thing that if I was building a real app, I would spend a lot more time on. But right now, the way that I'm modeling this relationship is that a user can have many users in the sense that a doctor is a user, but also a customer is a user. So a doctor is, or a veterinarian in this case, is providing healthcare for many users, but also a user could be provided healthcare by many users. So there's a a self-referential many-to-many relationship between users and users. Also, on top of this, let's see, we got customer data. So ID, created at, updated at, first name, last name, address, phone preferences, I feel like I would omit that in the table is all, but I don't really care that much. Billing zone, time zone, language, marketing. I don't know what. Oh, you know what? Marketing might be whether or not you could send emails to them. So that's probably a good thing to keep on there. Provider data, created at, updated at, first name, last name, business name, license number, specialties, business hours, service locations, certifications, insurance accepted, staff size, emergency service, rating. See, rating is probably not useful for the thing that I'm trying to do. Although I could imagine it being useful for a different app related to veterinary medicine in the sense that it might be nice as a customer, as in someone with an animal that is trying to get service, to be able to look at the ratings of different doctors. But this is really more built for the vets themselves to make their lives easier. So I don't care about their rating unless they want to rate their customers, but that's a little strange. Patient, ID, name, created at, updated at, owner ID. So these are just like container things. Patient data. So this would be like for a dog or a cat or something like that. Here's their fields. One of the things that's interesting about this is this model right now is just assuming it's a constant. Well, one of the cool things about it that I have noticed that is pretty cool is that this is something that actually I think AI just kind of did. I was just like, yo, make this relationship because I was being lazy. But the really cool part about it, that way it chose to do it is it said that a patient can have many instances of a patient data instead of just one. And at first I was like, that's not right. I mean, a dog only has one sex. A dog only has one weight. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. No, but the point is that when you think about it, there's going to be different entries for the same animal over time if they're regularly coming back. So I was like, oh, good call. That makes sense. So actually now what it is when you look at a patient's data, it should be, in theory, each time they come in, they get a new, evaluation and they get new data. But yeah, this actually looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and unfuck my data. Cool. And this should break things. So if I type in, one of the things I'd like to do that I could just rip right off of remenu. Is there is a tasks.json that has a little type helper in it. And I just kind of forgot how to do this. So I figured it'd just be a lot faster to do it this way. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to make a little tasks.json. Technically, I should do this with ESLint too. Also, my ESLint is not set up correctly. That is something that TanStack routers examples probably should do better because I started this off of a TanStack router thing. I don't even know if I have ESLint initialized. In fact, I might as well just knock that out now. I don't feel like making another card. But now what I could do is I could just do run task, check types, and then all of the type signatures that are fucked up. Oh, I need a task for it. Or a script, I mean. This is easy. Check types. And we're just going to say tsc dot no commit. So now let's try running that again. Run task, check types, do your thing. But it's right there. What? The root file specified. There we go. And the nice thing about putting that in tasks Well, I don't know why it's not working. We'll just do. Is if I do this right. Why is that not working? If you do this right, then all the editor errors show up in your editor and not just in your terminal, which is actually super valuable. I might need this too. And then while I'm at it, I just want to go to my package.json and look at my check types. It is just tsc-no omit. What did I call it? Launch.json? Oh, you just paste it here. Doop, 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 doop. I don't think it's this. Rename. But it could be. Tasks. So that works. Come on. Type. Think maybe I just write check types. Come on. Oh, you know what? Because it's in there and not here, I think. But I need 2 repos because I'm going to be doing some Elixir stuff at some point. Or 2 folders at least. There we go. And now I should get all these to show up in my problems. Although I guess not. Okay, well that's no fun. All right, whatever. We'll do it the good old-fashioned way. Boom. This is pissed because why? Create jot. Bye-bye. This is pissed because why? We'll get this worked out in a bit. This is pissed because why? Probably like import top or something. Well, it's never used. I don't know whether I'm actually going to do that, but we'll see. Create jot. We're not doing anymore. Well, I guess I am doing it. The jot token thing. Okay, so I haven't figured this out yet, but I'm going to have to figure out how to authenticate into that Elixir thing once I build it. So we'll figure that out when we get there. Something's going weird here. this wants. I don't know what's going on here. It feels like something changed. I don't care too much. We'll figure it out when we get there. There's a lot of data that I'm really not married to. Dashboard.customer. Something is off though, because now that's going to fuck up my dashboard. So now I have to figure that out. Yeah. I think the type signature was right, and I just plugged in the wrong thing somewhere. Because that is correct. The type of data, component props, type of sidebar. And this thing takes in, what do I do in here? Ah, the sidebar data. So I think that this thing needs to take in a data shouldn't be a nav section. It should be a sidebar data is all. Yeah, that checks out. And then now if I go back here, it's probably correct. And I still need to do all my type checks. There's going to be some more broken stuff now, but that's fine. I don't know why node modules is being checked by that. Happy. Not sure what's bad here. And then this definitely needs to just be ignored somehow. So anything in TS config. It's probably just there's probably a special way you're supposed to do it, I would think. That doesn't seem like it's the right thing. Whoops. I also would love to add ESLint, so I probably will. Seed. This needs to just be fixed. Rating by use search debounce. Cool. There should be more fucked up in the seeds, no? I guess not. Okay. And while I'm here, I feel like I want to create a ton of dummy. We're going to install Faker. We're going to do, just for funsies, create 1,000 customers, potential customers using Faker. Potential customers. We're going to call these dummy customers raw. And then just out of curiosity, if I do run seed. Oh, wow. That goes awfully slow. I didn't think it'd go that slow. Holy shit. That can't be right. That's way too slow. Create user. I'm just going to do a create many user. We'll do it like this. These users won't matter that much. So actually what I'm probably going to do is a create many. It will run way faster, I'm pretty sure. Await prisma dot user dot create many. And we're going to do data role. Really, this is actually just a lot more annoying than just keeping it all in one spot. Come on. What's mad here? Array.from. Missing that. Do. This looks right. Create many. Oh, I don't have a role. Patient side. And now let's see how fast that runs. Do. Well, it was way fast. But needs a new thing. Email. And they don't even have a real password. So technically this will work. And they just don't have a password to log in. But now what I should be able to do is go over to my add new customer. And this will be kind of cool because now I have real data to pick from. And on top of that, I think I could take my take quantity and lower that a little bit. I don't like that it's 20. Add customer. My take quantity. So let's just do take. Okay. And now that I have this, it's like a more appropriate amount. And let's look for one called Jim. Jim. And yeah, this looks good. Technically, there should probably be some kind of order by in there. And there could also be more filters. But this looks pretty good, I think. This is a good little UI for a couple day build. I like that. Also, I want to add a little margin to the bottom. As stupid as that seems, might as well. I don't know. I'm not a designer, so I'm not super stressed about it. But that looks pretty good. Okay, so now this is good to go. Create pull request. Create. Let's look at what I changed. Doop, 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 doop. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. Merge that pull request. Committed change. Oh yeah, that's fine. Cool. Now let's do more stuff. So add customer. I'm not going to worry about the edit customer for now. So let's just get rid of that. But I do want a page where I could see all my customers, and I feel like that would just be clicking on customers. So, whoops. Okay, so let's do that next. Or we can look at some different cards, but I think that that's going to be ultimately a good thing to go for. So a doctor should be able to view their customers. That's actually at the top of the list. A doctor should be able to view each customer's pets, should be able to view their doctor's data. Cool, we'll figure this out. Okay, so a doctor should be able to view their customers, convert to issue. Boom. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh. Doctor should be able to view their customers. So now let's go to healthcare/customers. So we're going to do a new one. Dashboard.healthcare.customers. Boom. We're going to say get customers using create use at Prisma query should look for all customers with their healthcare being provided by the user ID. All right. Oh no, I don't want it to do the whole route. We'll worry about the route after. We don't need anything with search params, so we know that that's bad. But let's look at this. Middleware, require the user middleware. Validate with Zod. Don't care about that because it's just going to be all the customers. Oh, actually, not necessarily. You still could have that search string. Oh man, look at that. AI is probably smart on that. Okay, search term, data.search. Await user Prisma. So we're saying where role equals patient side. Healthcare. Do I have to undo? Gosh. That's crazy. It's just too right all the time. This is why it's like, I think it's worth getting into an AI workflow. I don't know. I was super averse to it for a while, but it just is faster to get shit done. Where role, and you're still checking the code. Role equals patient side. Healthcare provided by. Yep. Include customer data. True. Take page size. Yep. And this is with the search term all figured out. So that's pretty good. And then on here, we could just go ahead and make this route similar to the table in at add customer TSX, but we don't need a checkbox anymore. Instead, we want a link to go over that customer's information in detail. Let's see how it does. Now, I'm surprised it didn't do the search term debounce stuff, but that should be easy enough to port over. Let's see. Boom. Oh, I imported that from the wrong place again. That's fine. We're going to do it again. Import table from a different spot. That's what I fucked up last time, and it confused the hell out of me. Boom. 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 Okay. Button should be good. Whoops. Button. Now it's going to say view details. I have no idea what this is going to look like. We'll see. Navigate. Navigate. What's that doing? This is what I would expect, actually. So I probably should make a customer page. This should be good. Load up. Customers. So I need to make sure that that link goes to the customer's page. So dashboard, healthcare. And now I need to make sure that customers, this goes to dashboard, healthcare, customers. And now if I click on this, boom. Cannot destructure property customers have used loader data. That checks out because we didn't really check this super aggressively. But am I getting that? Yeah. So first of all, this is fine. And then my customers. So it's getting the correct value in TypeScript, but clearly it's not returning the right thing. What errors am I getting? So first of all, the key prop, that should be easy enough. Wait a second, but it's not. Whatever. Await find customers is coming from here. So we have our server-side function, we have our validator, we have our handler. And all that we're doing is calling that in here. How did I do the loader depths in the other one? Add customer TSX. My loader data. By the way, one cool thing is if you don't like the co-location of server-side code and whatever, you can just move these to a different file and it will work exactly the same. Loader depths equals await that search. I'm just going to try reloading the page. Oh, it was that. So I don't have any customers added yet. And then I need to say, we could probably do a thing for that. In other words, let's just real quickly see if there's something in shad cn for this, for like not found. So let's go to components. Is there anything for like not found? Menu bar, draw over, chart, carousel, button, badge. What is badge? What does that mean? Aspect ratio. Alert. Accordion. I will use this accordion thing for the sidebar. I think it should be here. Like, that'd be really nice. Skeleton. Slider. Sonner. An opinionated toast component for React. Oh. Boom, switch, table. Let's go tabs. Text area. Toast. toggle group tooltip. I wonder if there's anything good for a not found charts. Not found component. I guess not. Okay. Well, we're going to have to make something then. I'm not someone that uses component libraries that often. So this is new for me, and I'm glad that I'm doing it for sure. But it's interesting because one of the things that I've been having trouble with is sort of figuring out when to use the component library and when to just make some shit. But I guess we're just going to make some shit for right now. So let's just do make a not found component. Let's try it out. See how it works. Oh. So I guess tan stack shipped with one, but it's probably not nice. Sorry, the page, it's not found. That's a not found. I want a no customers thing. I do like that not found component though. That looks good. I just, I don't need a not found. I don't need a not found component. I need a no customers found. Make a UI that tells the users no customer is found and offer them a link to go add customers. Customers, no customers is found. Add customers should go to add customers. So this would be better off as a link. And then here, import that to add customer. Cool. And now this thing also needs to be the same thing. Change to be a link. Okay. So now I go to add customers. Cool. We're adding customers. Boop. You know, I'm wondering if this should say customers/add customer. So that way from here, I could go back to it. Would actually be a really nice navigation pattern. But I'm not going to, that's not high priority right now. That would be nice though. It'd be nice to have that breadcrumbs working nicely. But yeah, so far this looks good. Let's add a couple of patients. Something went wrong. What went wrong? This went wrong because of expected 1 records to be connected, found only 0. So I broke something. Get back to that add customer. And in here, let's first, is this search working? Yep. So let's go to the add customers. Add customer. Where the customer ID. Just out of curiosity, let's console.log this data and see what we get. If I look at this, boop, boop, and those customers, I should get some of these that were required but not found. I want my context. I also need to make sure the patient side. I should be on the doctor side. What? Well, for one, if dot length is equal to 0, we should toast and then now if I select some customers and add them, something is going wrong, but it was working before. I am wondering if I have a type check error. Nothing. That's probably a good idea, I realized. But what does this error message mean? I'm not sure I understand it. Should be able to connect. That's what I'm thinking, is that it's just not finding the doctor. But that's really strange. Because it should be there. Well, let me first cheat a little. We're going to go here. We're just going to look at that. We're going to go to the sidebar. And there should be like a, maybe it's in the, here, email. And we're just going to do this. User.id, just for debugging right now. So I could see that my ID is that. Actually, what might be nice to do is just to make a profile right now. So if I click on this, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to make this clickable. And we're just going to say dashboard slash profile slash. really what I should do is make this type 4. Well, 4. And we're going to say roll. And now if I go to my healthcare, I want to say that the role here is my, fuck. Not the right role. That is the right role. Oh, for user role is what I want there. Because role is an HTML thing too. Health side. And then we can go the dashboard.customer. Patient side. And that means in my sidebar, I can link to this. So if I click the email, this thing, sidebar menu button, can I just wrap this in a link? It's easier to just dump a menu button. How many of those do I have? Side menu button. I have a lot of them. Sidebar menu item. So the easiest way to do is just going to be to add an on click. Or we're going to say navigate equals use navigate. And we're going to say const in here. Oh, it's an A tag. That's where I just switched this out with a link. Link. There is something wrong with my auto rename tag. And I don't know what it is, but it's driving me crazy. No. Whoops. Well, will this work? This will not work. That'd be confusing. But I guess we'll just do this for now. I don't need that toast. We can just get rid of that. We're going to return dot with health side will return. I'm surprised it's not. Will return with it. I wish there was a way to grab this type 2. What is the type signature of 2? wonder if there's a way to pull that out of there. 2 options? Nope. Ah, 2 options, dot 2. So actually, there's tons of ways you could do this, but you could say yup. I should have better naming on this. Inside admin. So we're going to go dashboard, healthcare, oh wait, and then I plug in the param. No, I don't need that. We're going to say profile. Dash. Wait a second. I don't want this. I want that. Haha. Match. Can I just do that? 2 options, 2. I think that's the return type. Works. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. No. What? How does this work? Input, output. I think there's a way to do return type, and then here I dump in that. And now these should explode. It's interesting. It's not the best. What you could also do is just this. Satisfies record role. 2 options. 2. And then we'll index that at the props.forUserRole. And then on here, admin dot health side dashboard healthcare profile. We'll have to add this. Patient side dashboard customer profile. Seems good. And now we have to add these. So let's do that. UI, we're gonna go to pages. Dashboard. Healthcare profile. Boop. Save that. Dashboard. Healthcare. Our dashboard. Customer profile. Boop. And now if I go back to my dashboard sidebar, that should be good. Dashboard, healthcare, profile. Oh, see, I have a little bug. That's why I love TanStack. My God. My good lord. Good golly gosh. Go back to that sidebar. Beautiful. And of course, now we have to build these components. Link to profile link. We should be happy. And now if I go to here, healthcare profile. Cool. So now let's go ahead and just display all their information, including the user ID, which is why I did this next. Healthcare profile. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to say the loader is we're going to get everything from the user but the password. Make a server function that gets everything from the user other than password, including their, what is it, provider data. Do your thing. Doesn't get the name, but provider data it does get. And just gonna do this nice and easy. Make a nice UI in Tailwind that displays the information for the user. Bloopity bloop. Don't use a table. Table's a bad UI for this. Reject. Instead, don't use a table. Instead, make it a form. Please use the input component and make sure to save space by making some of the labeled inputs sit next to each other. Let's see what it does. Except, sure, obviously these imports are fucking dumb, but that's okay. Like its contextual awareness was not strong with this one. Get rid of this return. Get rid of this div, I think. Get rid of this, get rid of this. I think we're happy. And let's just see what we get. Data is not defined. We're just going to say make a dummy. Cool. Worry about that after. Good. User ID email. Make the user ID a locked field that looks like an input. We could do that. User ID. Make this not an input because it cannot be edited. That looks pretty good. You could even make a hover. I wonder if it'll do that. Make the cursor do what it should do over a disabled element. I can't remember what that's called, but it's like cursor disabled. It's like, should be like a line. Cursor not allowed. There you go. And now you're clicking on it. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Provider data should be a bunch of fields. So that means we're going to have to make sure we get that. So we are going to include the provider data. And let's go. I think it'll probably do a better job if we pull out the type first. So let's go ahead and just say const equals use loader data. Boom, boom, boom. From profile. We have to make sure we get this in the loader data. It thinks it's remix. Something's not right. Maybe because it can be null. Which means let's just call that data for now. And that's weird. It doesn't do the await automatically. Oh, right, because you can return a promise. That makes sense that it wouldn't do the await automatically. Okay. Because the user's undefined. Data. Where is it destructuring? Huh. Something's wrong here. Is it gonna go away if I just get rid of this form? Let's find out. Looks like the answer is yes. So it's not destructuring, it's that I'm calling .null on it. That's, oh, JSON.stringify is probably where that's coming from. Let's get rid of this for one. Because I bet what it is that they don't have that data yet. User, use loader data. Weird. Why? So it's my loader data that's undefined. Data is not defined. Well, that's fine. Keep that dummy data, I guess. I just don't understand why it's undefined. User data. Maybe it's because it's literally not finding the user, but that doesn't seem right. This should really be or throw. And if that's the case, it's failing because the user's not there. The context, the user, it's going to be find unique or throw where ID is user ID, select ID, email, provider data. D is user ID. Is it not getting the user ID? User is there, and it's just not finding them? You know what? Is it possible that this is a weird faker issue? Like, do I have a non-unique username? Is that what's happening here? If so, that's bad. There's something I gotta fix. Loader data, no. That's very strange. Handler, user, Prisma.find first. Let's just do this. That's very weird to me. It's not finding the user. I would rather throw. How am I logged in right now? Hmm. Let me just try logging out real quick. I need a log out button. That'll make my life easier. Okay. No. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. Because my user is clearly defined. And it's clearly the right one. And I've clearly got an ID right there. What's going on here? Just scroll up a little. Make sure. Prisma is coming from DB. Create user. Let's check these imports. Tanstack start. Prisma is coming from DB. Handler. Return user data. No need for that extra return, but return. The loader says, await, get user profile. A promise that returns that data type. And it's just not finding it. Let's console log it. Again. One more time. That user. This. But then I need to find that user and it's not finding it. So. Could it be the way that I wish there was a way to just dump a query in here? Because this is just not a smooth interface. ID equals that. Right there. And it's unique. Is it because it's not unique in the database? Layer. User. Yes, I bet that's what it is. I bet it's this. That should have a unique constraint. And I'm wondering, npx prisma migrate dev. Will it do it automatically? Yep. npm run dev. I think that was probably it. We'll find out. And now if I go here. What in the balls, my friends? What the fuck? This should really be working. Let me just try. Boop. Boop. I'm in. Record found none. Why? Let me just real quickly hack it. If I go to here, let's just go ahead and copy that ID. And then just to check, because this is blowing my mind right now, I'm going to go ahead and run a little Docker file, or a little script. New file. Not an app. I want to do it in main. New file. Messaround.ts. Run that same exact query. Plug in the ID. So we're just going to go boop, 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 boop. Boom. We're going to check this. And we're going to console.log that. Fun. What? That's very strange. So this is a Prisma problem. Oh, well, for one. Something very strange is going on. And I'm wondering if it's related to the session. But I'm really not sure. I think that's what it is, though. I think it's related to the session. But I don't know, because I checked it. This is logging. No, because I checked it. Didn't I? Hang on, if I go to... This... Boop, 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 boop. Oh. Add record. Whoops. Discard changes. Filters. Nothing. And I'm sure I copied the right one. This has to be a session problem. In other words, somehow I still have a session and it's an invalid session. It's got to be that. I don't know another reason that could be causing this. This is interesting, though, for sure. Means I have to invalidate that session somehow. Let's log out and log back in. Cool. Go here. Now we're getting this. Go back to y'all. Yes. But why isn't it finding it right now? Because it's the right ID. We've confirmed that it's there. And yet somehow it's still not finding it. Whoops. And just to prove it, filters, add new filter, boom. Whoops. We're there. And then now up here, cool. This thing I actually don't want this here. I want a new. But okay. My user has this ID. Just to check it. Oop. Yep. So what the fuck? There is something wrong with my session, but also this is broken. So that's fun. Unique or throw. So, ID is user ID. User ID. That. Because I'm logging the user. ID. Where user ID is user ID. What happens if I get rid of this select? Find first or throw? Data is not defined. Oh, I was getting data is not defined. So it is just the session thing. This is what I think it is. Oh, stupid. Stupid on my part. Okay, so the data, I do need to figure out that session problem because that's bad. That's a really bad one. User dot ID. So basically all these should be user. Could probably do this a smarter way. In fact, I will. We're going to rename my user to data. Rename data back to user. Now we are happy. And that means I should have my user data. But the problem here is there's something with what would be triggering it? It would be if I don't know if it's like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I'm doing a stream, but I could stop it. Hang on 1 second. All right, stream over. Bye-bye.